It's that amazing time of the year where you got to send out a Thanksgiving email to all your subscribers. So I'm going to show you how to do that inside ActiveCampaign. Hey guys, what's up? It's Steph Burrell, the Nerdy Hermit. So I am going to send some value your way real quick. I wanted to touch base. We have Thanksgiving coming up, so you need to send out a Thanksgiving email. I know a lot of people dread this time of the year because they got to get everything together. They got to get the copy ready. They got to get the email blast scheduled. They got to get all this stuff situated. But it's super important when you talk about, or when anybody talks about sending out emails on the holidays. And that's because we're touching on that ATF crowd, that ATF funnel. That's after the funnel. These are people that have gone through their pipeline. These are people that have gone through your client journey. These are people, your sphere of influence, that need to be tended to, right? So you want to stay in front of those people, as far, especially on occasions like this where it gives you a reason to be in their inbox. It gives you a reason to engage. I'm going to give you a couple little tips and tricks to do that, and I've actually created a template inside ActiveCampaign that I'll provide the share link to in the description wherever this video is at. It'll be a link in the description, and then you can actually implement this into your CRM or however you'd like to do that, and then you'll be good to go and on your way. So I'm actually going to show you how to do it inside ActiveCampaign, and give you a couple little tips and tricks to make it go a lot easier. So let me jump onto the screen here and minimize myself. It's going to look really weird right now. All right, so this is the template that I created for anybody inside ActiveCampaign that would like to use it. So basically what I did is I put the logo up there on the top. Obviously you would use your own logo, and I'm going to show you a way how to grayscale that inside ActiveCampaign so you don't have to be the forefront of the email. We can even make this smaller if you'd like. And then just a nice image. GIFs are cool. I'd be using a GIF, but that's just because that's who I am. But it needs a lot less space if you're doing more of like, hey, here's an email and it's Happy Thanksgiving. Make sure not to make the text super, super long. Nobody wants to read a novel on Thanksgiving. If you're selling something, awesome. Put a couple little Black Friday things in there. If you're not, don't even worry about it. Put a couple sentences, say Happy Thanksgiving, be on your way. Now, I work with a lot of real estate agents, and with real estate agents, what I'm suggesting is make sure you look through like Facebook events, look at Google search any kind of events that are going on in your area, especially because you're a real estate agent, you should have total knowledge of what's going on in your farm. Make sure you're putting at least a couple events in there with little pictures next to it, and I'll show you how to do that also. So let me jump into ActiveCampaign. And with this share link, once you're inside ActiveCampaign, let me actually go in here and I'll show you how to import the link that I'm providing to you. So just click on create a new template. Over here on the bottom left, it says import template. Go ahead and paste that URL that I'm providing to you for the free template and just click OK. And once you do that, it'll pause for a second, it'll do its little thing, some stuff's going to come up, and then it'll populate that template for you. Now this is where you can start editing. Obviously you don't want to send it out with my logo, but let's go ahead and change that to a new logo to kind of give you an example of how you can do this. So let me bring in a super colorful logo. Let's bring in Facebook logo. How about that? Super generic, but your logo can look something similar. It's just giving you an idea of what it does. So when you bring it in, it'll be a crazy size. Click on it on the right hand side over here. You'll be able to change the dimensions. I suggest something fairly small, probably like 120 to 150 width is perfect. You don't want to dominate the email, you just kind of want it to be there. Another thing with colors, if you have colors in your logo, I suggest kind of dulling those down, and the reason is especially because you have a colorful image here. You can leave them like that if you'd like, but if you want to dull out those images and kind of grayscale that image, click on the image there. You'll see a magic wand come up, and that's edit image. Click on that, and you'll see this little deal come up. So this is something you don't even have to go into Photoshop and make these edits. You can go into ActiveCampaign and do that inside there. So over here down at the bottom you can click filter, and there's an option right here for grayscale. If you click that, you'll see that it's grayscaled, and sometimes your colors will be wonky. It's still kind of popping a little too much. You can click invert and that'll dull it down a little bit, but you see it basically reverses the way that is there. I'm going to undo that and I'm going to click on brightness. And now you can see when I change this, it'll get darker or lighter depending on how I drag this. So I'm going to make it a bit lighter just because I don't want to dominate this email, and click save. Once I do that, it changes the size. I don't know why, it's just a active campaign thing. So I come back here, bring it back to 120, and now you can see my logo looks super professional. It's dulled out. It's not trying to grab anybody's attention. It's just like the first thing is Happy Thanksgiving. My logo just happens to be on it. Scrolling down, you'll see that I've added some text in there. You guys can alter this any way you'd like to. But what I recommend is doing something like PS, PS, I've gathered. This is especially if you're a real estate agent. Speaking specifically to real estate agents, any service provider that should know their area. Okay, so I've gathered some event info from the area that I thought you might enjoy. Let me know if this helps at all. And again, have a great Thanksgiving. So something like that, right? So then we're going to come over here and let's put in an image block. All you're doing is just dragging that image block, but on the right side of that, we're going to put a text block. And you can see it's on the right hand side because the insert here is on that side. So just to see that again, you can see if it goes on the bottom, it's going to show up on the bottom or the top or the side. So it's on the side here. Perfect. So let's grab a couple pictures. I'm going to add some pictures here. Actually, let me see here. We'll go to Thanksgiving. Here's a truck right here. We'll add that in there. And choose this. And then over here on this side, we can change the font size. I'm going to bring it up a little bit to make this a title. I'm going to say November, let's say November 28th. Okay. And then do the name of the event. The pumpkin bash or whatever it may be. Okay, couple spaces, so hit enter a couple times, and then put the event details. Okay, so just start writing the event details over here, or copying and pasting depending on where it is, and then link to event. So then you'll just click here to view more info or something, and then link to it. Click here to view more info. Okay, so let's double click this and bring this up in text here. We don't want it to go overlapping, so 20 looks perfect. We're going to bold that. Now we want to bring it down because we don't want it to go over. You know what I mean? So we could drag this to make it a little bigger and make the picture a little smaller. And these event details and this line, let's bring this up because 12 is just way too small. Let's bring this up to 18. And then you can see here we got something pretty awesome going on, right? So we got some event stuff going on. We can click on this picture here and let's add some padding. Actually, let's add some margin around it. So if we say 10, you can see that now there's a little gap on the left hand side, would make it look a lot better. Actually, let's bring it to 40 on the left for padding as well. So let's click on this and let's scroll to where we need to scroll. Let's go to padding. 40 is way too much for that, but we'll go to custom, remove bottom, remove right, and remove top there. So then you can see it's a lot more spaced out, but now we got to remove that margin over there. So now you got a little bit more spaced out situation. So when we do that, let me see, that's the left side. We can bring this over a little bit, and now it just looks a lot more streamlined with what's going on. Okay, So then over here, we can actually add a line break under this area, and we can put a text over here doing Thanksgiving events in our area, or your area, or however you want to do that, but just giving all these some kind of title, so that we're kind of, making it a bit more professional there. So now you see here we have events in our area. Let's change this bottom to, that's good. So perfect. We got something going on here. So we got little sections, right? So now we can easily just click on this cogwheel and say duplicate this content. Over here we can click duplicate this content box here, and now we can drag this with this little deal, bring it down, drag this, make sure it's on the right hand side of this image, so perfect right there. And then we got the same thing going on, just drag it over here, and now we got two. Okay, with this line going all the way across, it might look better if we bring it to about 80%. So if we click 80, not 100, and then we bring it to the middle. So let's do that again. Now you're just kind of watching me be nerdy, but it is what it is. All right, so that looks a lot better, right? So now we got some events going on. So I'll put this in the deal as well, so you can just copy this one also, just in case you're a real estate agent and you want this to go out. Then you'll just be able to duplicate this and send it out as well. Just add your events in there. So really quick, don't be scared about these email blasts. Just know, yeah, it does take some time to get these out and running, but it's totally worth it when you think about who you're doing this for, right? This is your red carpet people. These are the people who have gone through all your marketing funnels. These are the people that you've done business with. These are the people you want to tell people all about your services or all about what you do. So these are huge people that you need to nurture all the time and for life. So never take that part for granted. Let's put a little padding there just because it's bothering me. Okay, perfect. So this is exactly how I would set it up. So if you want to use this, awesome. There's the files for you to use. Make sure you get it set up. I would suggest, personally, for me, I would suggest sending it not at 8 o'clock in the morning on Thanksgiving. That's just when everybody does it. Everybody has automations set up for 8 o'clock in the morning. That's because some CRMs just default at 8 a.m. So I would probably send it maybe like 10, 11, 12 when people are kind of starting to settle down. Maybe like even 4 p.m. when people have already had dinner. Usually people eat around 3 p.m. So maybe around like 4, 5 when they're kind of chilling, starting to check their phone. Send it out around that time. But yeah, so hopefully this was helpful for you. I'm going to come back over here into my workspace and come back. Oh, now you see me. All right, so hopefully that was helpful to you. Make sure you send out those emails, though. I will do another one of these around Christmas because there is some extra stuff you can do for Christmas. I think it's more relevant around Christmas time. But for Thanksgiving, definitely get that blast out. Make sure they know that you're grateful for them. These are very important people, so make sure you're nurturing them for life. All right.